Hello and welcome everyone. This is I Seen You Before playing Dominions 4 as early age Therodos in the Therodos Blitz episode 9. Now the funny thing about this episode is that while the diplomacy was all happening off screen, you guys pretty much won't know what happened and you'll be like, why did you suddenly stop attacking Niffleheim? Okay, so remember, as I was reiterating throughout the episodes, that diplomacy is really important. That's basically what happened. After the big battle on the throne, Niffleheim basically came back and talked to me and said, that was a really nice battle. He doesn't think that we should still keep on fighting, and yeah, it was great spar and everything, pretty fun. Same thing, I told him it was a great battle, talked around a bit. And then he said something around the lines like, too bad you aggressed me without doing any diplomacy. And that's what I told him too. I was like, what are you saying? You are the one that attacked me first. He's like, no, I didn't attack you at all. So after a while I explained to him that back on turn 5, I think that was around episode 2 or 3, he did attack me while I was building a fortress right there. Where there's one dactyl right now, right here. I built a fortress here with the same horse guy. And he attacked that province from me, if everyone recalls correctly. And then he was like, oh god, my bad. And I told him, I was like, how did you attack my province thinking I was an independent? And he honestly told me that the Therodos flag does look like an independent flag. And when I've been playing for 4 hours, I have to admit it does, up to some extent, look like an independent flag. When I asked him, I was like, when you attacked this, when you saw that there was only one horseman commander there building a fort, what did you expect? Wasn't it mine? He was like, no. He thought that I tried attacking it, and I filled my expansion, and there was just one commander there. But long story short, we ended up settling down and not fighting each other and coordinating an attack towards Tien Chi, who's right now at this point have been bullying people during the whole game and got pretty big. And unfortunately, the problem is right there. We have let Tien Chi be for a bit too long, and I'm going to cut this long pause from the video right now. And we are back. So now I have to move my armies towards Tien Chi and hopefully coordinate an attack with Niffleheim. However, this might not be such a good thing, because when I think of it, I believe that Tien Chi pretty much beat most people at the research right now and owns most of the actual landmass, so he might actually just have a victory right there. Otherwise, throughout the Blitz, I have to say that coastal fortresses are really important for Therodos, and so is forging. Middle game still confirms my main problem since the beginning. The spectral spawn, unlike AMO, is not enough for you to get carried into the mid game and the late game without going through enchantment or conjuration and getting some kind of meaty chaff up there. Trust me, if by late game the enemy don't know how to deal with your spectral troops, then you pretty much already won the game. That means your enemy doesn't know how to counter undead spectral units. And playing as Therodos, it's as easy as going to Thaumaturgy, getting it to level 2 and having Dust to Dust, going to Evocation, getting Solar Rays from Astral. Yeah. Long story short, the spectral troops of Therodos are very weak to magic resistance. To evocations. The added fact on top of it is that you have undead ethereal units, but unlike AMO, you have human morale, which means that your unit is not really chaff, like undead chaff, like it would be with AMO and Celar. You have the long dead horseman, etc. Because they're all mindless and undead, which means that they'll never out unless the spellcaster dies. So that's a plus, in my opinion. Now you have a bunch of ethereal undead unit with human morale, and when too many of them die, they'll suffer normal morale attrition, which, in my opinion, is a big disadvantage to Therodos. Because one of the advantages of being undead is that they never out, and that's exactly the disadvantage of Therodos. An undead ethereal nation that somehow needs money. And the only mages that are strong for early age are your capital only mage. And that's kind of really bad. Not only they're your cap only mages, but they're slow to recruit. That means by late game you have half the amount of mages that everyone else does. Of course, we have the coastal fortresses, but the only thing we get out of there is Emilia and a Caballeros. And to be perfectly honest, the Caballeros doesn't go over Earth 2, has some cross paths from Earth, Water, Earth, Fire, Earth, Air. That's pretty useless, at least for the middle game. So is the Melia. The Melia can only be used, in my opinion, as either a leader, because you need her to move undead units around. Be mindful that you cannot recruit a normal commander because they're all undead units. And secondly, due to the low powers that they have, I can't find anything that they can do in battle. In fact, I've had some success and by thugging them out. To be honest, yeah. First you're like, why would you thug them out and give them magic gems? But that's the thing, right? Except from recruiting those Melias and your cap only mage and getting forts going, that's all the resources you have. And you do have great forgers, with the Kyberos having the forge thing, the reduction in forge. With the hammer, it reduces 3 gems. So essentially you could make Frostbrands every turn for 2 water gems, make Girdles of Might for 2 earth gems, and I guess up to some extent you could throw in some vine shields in there or some golden shields. But the thing is, a bunch of Melias, like a couple, like 3 to 4, 2 to 4 of them, given a Frostbrand and a Girdle of Reinvigoration, casting their self burst like Iron Skin, Mist Form, whatnot, really helps out. So, but one thing that I'm gonna try doing in my single player, to be honest, there's another long game multiplayer going on as early age Therodos, but it's not going too good in there, and I stalled a few turns. That's the problem. You shouldn't be stalling when you play multiplayer because it's really important. But I'm trying to nail Therodos down a bit more. Probably create a small nation review after I'm done with a Blitz, a long multiplayer game, and another single player game where I can actually beat the AI and not get ruffled stomped. So those are the current plans for now. As for this Blitz, without wanting to spoil everyone, I have to be honest that the ending to it is not exactly the greatest, because you'll see later on. I'll include some charts and I'll give you a basic epilogue of what happened throughout the whole battle. But let's just say that me and Niffleheim dishing it out for so long pretty much removed us from the whole game of Dominions, at least for the time being. Which is, unfortunately for both me and Niffleheim, doesn't play to our advantage. During that time, Tien Chi has gotten really big, got quite a lot of national summons going on, and he's in a pretty damn good position. I believe I was leading in research at one point in time, but due to me fighting and, as you can see, my inability of deciding what to research on, it was kind of a disadvantage. Ideally, as Therodos, I'd say head straight for Alteration 5 or Construction to get the research boosts, and try to get 1 global enchantment up. Otherwise, that's all the time we have for today. I know the episodes are quite short. I believe the next one will be the last one for this Blitz. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. Like and subscribe if you like our content. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.